good evening, or maybe afternoon or good morning, depending on when you're watching this. But for me right now, it's evening, and I am making supper. Hi, Papa. There'll be some of this in the freezer for you. I am making a potato soup. A lot of times, most of the time when I make it just basic, simple potato soup. Sometimes, like tonight, I put in some extras. So I'll take you over here. So here I just have potatoes. And in this skillet, I have ground turkey and green pepper. And then I put some seasonings in there to make it more sausage-like. In this case, I put in some Italian seasoning, a little bit of paprika, some garlic, salt, and some brown sugar to sweeten it up a little bit. So I'll let that cook up. And then taste it and see how close I am to where I want to be. Jack, dog out. But, yeah, so potato soup tonight. Actually, earlier, Ellie came out to the kitchen and she asked me what I was making, and I told her potato soup. And she said, okay, but I want mine without potatoes. So, not sure how we'll do that, but she wants it without potatoes. But yeah, so something I was thinking about is, how, our minds make associations in different ways, I guess. One of the ways my mind makes associations is there's different things that I do in the kitchen or just in, day-to-day tasks that make me maybe think of different people. And the person I think of when I make potato soup every time is Mama, which is Ryder's mom. We call her Mama, or Grandma Connie. And she was a sweet, lovely lady. And she passed it's been about 2.5 years ago. But I appreciated her very much. I was thankful that during the time that I've been with Ryder, and especially the more recent years before she passed, that I was able to spend the time with her that I was able to spend and get to know her like I did. She was a lot of fun. She was very giving. She was caring, and she was fun to spend time with. She had some health battles that would really get her down at times, and that was hard. But yeah, I was thankful that I was able to get to know her how I did and spend time with her. And so the reason I think of her, though, when I make potato soup is because I think it was probably early in our marriage. Ryder and I think we were at her place, and we talked about potato soup, and I just asked her how she makes her potato soup, and she said, just cut up the potatoes and cook them, and then pour off some of the water, and pour in milk, and a stick of butter, and salt and pepper, and that was it. It was really simple, but it was always tasty. And so anytime that I make potato soup, that's usually how I make it, unless I'm adding in a couple different things tonight just to change the flavor a little bit. And like her sugar cookie, I have her sugar cookie recipe, and I make them from time to time. And they were my husband's favorite, and she would make them for him sometimes. And since she has passed, I make them occasionally for him because they're his favorite. And I've made them several times, and each time I think I get a little bit closer. to them being like Mama's cookies, but they're still not quite there, of course. You know, will they ever be? But my husband tells me how good they are anyway, so I still make them and he still eats them. Yeah, so, and another interesting one is if I grind coffee, I have a small coffee grinder, and sometimes I grind the beans, and that makes me think of a gal by the name of Julia, our dear sister Julia, that there was a time when Mama was sick, and Julia opened her home to our family, and during that time, it was her preference to have whole bean coffee, and she had a coffee grinder, so every morning that was what she did. She got up and would grind her coffee and make a cup of coffee, and usually go sit on the porch or something, and so the coffee grinder makes me think of Julia, because it was part of the daily routine while we were staying there with her and her family. And so I remember that if I was up earlier than her or the others, maybe I was always worried, because the coffee grinder is a noisy little thing, and I would be worried that I was going to wake someone up, but I don't think that there was ever an issue. I think everyone was pretty used to hearing it. Jackson. Yeah. So, this is Jackson. Hi, Jack. We'll just introduce everybody. There's Shay. There's Charlotte. There's Miles. Yep. Now, you're all not supposed to be over here while I'm cooking. I usually got to chase the dog out. So, but yeah, so I'm making this soup, and what I always do anytime I make a meal is I always portion some up for Ryder and put it in the freezer. Last night I made a casserole, and he actually has 3 portions of that in the freezer, and I'll do up a couple bowls of this soup and put them in the freezer, and then when he comes home, then I load him up, and he refills his fridge and his cooler in the truck, and then that helps him a lot having meals. I can't send, depending on how long he's going to be out, he doesn't always have enough to eat, something every day. Sometimes he'll run out by the time his next home time comes, but for the most part, it saves him a lot of money, and it's healthier than eating out. And it works out pretty good, because I still cook like I always did, and then just whatever portions that would have been his, I just throw them in the freezer for him. So, all right, well, I think that's about it for now. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.